Hi everyone, it's Mr. Barden here. This video is going to be going over just real briefly the audio project number 2, I guess I should say video project number 2 for the month of January that my sound design class will be going over. So what I'm going to be doing is just, again, breaking everything down. As a short review, this will, again, be one of many projects that the students will have the option to choose or not to do. I'm not going to break all of that down right here. You can find all of that in that intro video up here under this post, or it'll all be in a playlist on YouTube for the students. So this is something that's a lot of fun to do. At least I think it is. I've done it a handful of times. That is adding your own sounds to a silent, or not necessarily silent, but to a film, a video of some kind. So I'm not going to be breaking down a lot of the how right now. I'll be making a separate, more detailed video of that, going over a lot of different concepts and things, both with background sounds and Foley sounds. Those are both important things. This is just briefly talking about what we need to do for this project. So what I've done is I've provided for my students a ton of old silent videos, and some of them have not quite loaded yet with a preview, and that's okay. So these are all little sci-fi-esque videos. I got them from a project I did with the Laptop Orchestra of Louisiana. That's what the LOL is in all of their names, a few years back, and they're actually snippets of much longer, feature-length silent films. And what I want everyone to do is to find one they like, and basically pick between 3 to 5 minutes, or essentially one scene of that, and add the various sounds that you need to do. And I'll break all of that down. While I'm down here in the things I've attached, I've also attached a handful of, 3 other videos that are probably going to be very helpful. Now, like I said, I'm going to be making lessons and videos on this stuff. Those will be coming out mid-January or so. But in case any of my students are absent on that day, I just wanted to make sure I attached this here. So these videos are just going over, some old, how we did sound effects and the idea of doing Foley sounds and, soundtrack versus, the diegetic versus non-diegetic sounds and things like that. And essentially all the things you really need to know conceptually outside of Studio One in order to pull this off. A few of my students did a project like this for their midterm, so this shouldn't be anything new for them. But let's just kind of break this down. So again, I recommend that all my students check out those videos. It'll be super helpful. Basically, you'll be adding both the backing soundtrack to the video in order to enhance the, what's going on, the emotions, what you're trying to convey, as well as the Foley sounds in order to just build the liveliness of the scene and make it actually feel like a real thing. And just to have all of that baked into a video file that you turn in. Again, you're picking a single scene, adding all the sounds to it. I just kind of briefly mention here, again, you can load up the whole video file I've included there. There's ways you could trim it just like an audio file, or you can use the loop bar to mark your section and do all your bits. Either one you can play around, as long as, again, it's a one scene, approximately 2 to 5 minutes, and it has all of your sounds. That's the important part. From there, again, this is the only project in this section where you'll be turning in a video file. And again, I'll have a separate video about how to do that. Again, that's not necessarily new things. Instead of exporting a song, you export a video, and there's settings all right there, and attaching it to this. So again, I've listed off a specific, number of things that you need to do in there, but essentially, what you need to have in addition to the video file as is are the following things. It just in a Google document. You can keep them, about a page or so, but just describe what you're going with, the general vibe, the aesthetic, the emotion, things of that nature for your video choice and the sounds that went along with it. Thirdly, I'm looking at the number 3 on the screen. Next, pick 3 of your Foley sounds that you did. So bare minimum 3, but you'll more than likely gonna need more. If you look through the videos, or as you would hear in my future lesson that I haven't actually made yet, Foley sounds are usually multi-layered in order to pull off the effect to get it just right. So, whatever you did, maybe it's a person, walking through a concrete hallway. Describe how you did that. There's different ways you could go about it. You could find recordings and edit them. You could record your own. I recommend that because then you can fine tune it to match up with the video, but that's more than we're going to get into right here. But just describe the 3 of the sounds that you had to make. Talk about the soundtrack as well. What went into that? What do we need to know? And any, sort of behind the scenes stuff that you think might be helpful to anyone watching it to understand what you have put together. And that's, again, it in a nutshell. This is another one of the shorter videos I'm going to go over because I'll be making separate ones talking about the idea of, soundtracks, Foley sounds, working with and exporting video in a bit more detail, things like that, that will be coming out shortly. This is just, again, briefly going more so over the project itself. So that's where I'm going to end it now, and I will see you all the next time that I see you.